ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. A very warm welcome to entire Sangat in today's talk. Previously we discussed about compassion, then contentment, satisfaction, and our topic for today is truthful living. As we all are celebrating Guru Nanak Sahib Ji's Gurpurab next week, so we followed the concepts of Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. Tol, Taram, Daya ka Poot, religion, dharma will come is son of compassion. So we discussed about compassion. Santokh thap rakhiyajan soot, to handle, to care like a father. Santokh, contentment, satisfaction is needed. If both things are there, and what else do we need to reach to the highest value, to the highest virtue, which is called Jeko Bujha Hove Satyar, the third pankti of Guru Nanak Sahib Ji's Bani, Japji Sahib Ji. Jeko Bujha Hove Satyar. If we are able to, or if we are able to understand the basic concepts and values, then we can reach up to the level of Satyar. That is the one way, but few more Gurbani Panktis and how Guru Sahib told us to work on it, and how can we reach to the level of truthful living, and which is the ultimate goal of everyone's life. The one who is living his life into the light of truth. Doesn't matter which religion do we follow, any. Because in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, we read panktis related to many religions, and they said just we need to walk on the path of truthfulness. So whenever anyone who is following, who is living his life in the light of truth, that life is called truthful living. As we live our life, basically there are two ways. In the world, whenever or we want to go to any place, we have different ways to reach to that destination. But here in our life, there are just two ways. One is Kudayara, one is Satyara. One is on the path of Almighty, truthfulness, or we are going opposite to that. Kudayara, into the dirt. We're just falling into the mud. In our life, we always choose clean, neat and clean road. We will never like to go into mud or dirty roads in our life. As we are so much concerned about our outer life, Gurbani is telling us, teaching us about our inner life. Mal kudi naam utariyan, jab naam hua satyar. So in the light of Naam, if we feel able to walk on the path of truthfulness, then definitely we can reach to the right place. Now, the first thing is, we must understand on which path we are going right now. Are we walking into the mud or on the clean path? This is the first thing. Guruji says, Kya bag bapuda chapdi nae, kichad dubbe mail na chaye. Very important. Kya bag bapuda chapdi nae. If a heron, a bagula, is taking bath into mud, and if you start complaining why I'm not getting clean, then actually he's putting his efforts on the wrong place. If bagula The parent is taking bath into the mud. And if he start complaining why I am dirty, so firstly he need to understand he is in the dirty water. क्या बग बपुड़ा छपड़ी नाए कीचड़ डूबे मैल न चाहे. We all are walking on one path for sure. Maybe on the path where we are able to find mud, or on the path of righteousness, on the path of truthfulness, or on the dirty things. We are, every time we are thinking something, we are performing some actions, and that could be related to any of it, maybe good or bad. Kya bag bapuda chapdi nae? Sometimes maybe we are also complaining. We are taking bath into the mud and complaining why my mind is not clean. Maybe we are always thinking about something bad. Maybe our actions are according to our Kudayara Jivan, Manmukh Jivan, and we are looking for some truthfulness. Firstly, we need to see what we are doing. Let's understand from a Sakhi of Guru Nanak Sahib Ji, as we are celebrating Guru Nanak Sahib Ji's Gurpurab. Guru Nanak Sahib Ji, he was traveling from the Assam. He met Salas Rai Johri. He met Noor Shah. And after that, he was near to Dhaka. Now this is in Bangladesh. He was going from a one village. And there he found one very religious person. The moment Guru Nanak Sahib Ji, Bhai Mardana Ji entered in that village, everyone just praising about Pumia. He was such a saint for those people because he was providing food. Every time anyone could go to his place and eat, anyone from that village. And he told to everyone, if any sage, any saint will come into the village, just send them to my place so that I can serve them. But what he was doing actually, in the night, he was doing robbery. He was stealing money from people. Furthermore, sometimes in the robbery, he killed another person as well. He used to kill. And he had many people who were working for him. So this is what he was doing in the night. But in the morning, free food he was providing to sages for the people, those who were from the same village. So he was very kind, generous person. Guru Nanak Sahib Ji entered into the same village. And what he was thinking, according to Pumia's mind, he was thinking he's doing a good thing because in the day he's providing food. What could be better than this? So he, while doing robbery, stealing money or killing, he used to think he's on the right path. So this is what happens in our life most of the times. Kya bag bapuda chapdi nae? Maybe we are living our life according to the Kudayara life, but we are thinking, I'm on the right path. So the first thing, we need to know what we are doing. Sometimes we make parameter according to our mind. I think this is right, so this is right. I believe this is wrong, so this is wrong. But we must take the light from Gurbani, from Guru Granth Sahib Ji. What Guruji is telling to me about this topic, about this way. Should I live my life in this way? Should I deal in this way or not? Not according to my mind, not according to someone else's mind. We must always take guidance from Guru Granth Sahib Ji. but sometimes we just imagine and follow. Jeko bujai hoveh sachya. Firstly, we need to understand what is sachya. Once, if we are looking for some understanding, once we realize, kya bhagabapura chappadi nai, am I doing or what I am doing? Once we start realizing, then only we'll open our mind to exchange the knowledge. Sometimes we just block our mind if we make some perceptions. We think this is right, this is wrong, and if I'm not ready to accept, that is why our name is Sikh. Never say you know everything. There are a lot of things you don't know about. Maybe one person knows about medicine, but not about engineering. Maybe one knows about engineering, but not about politics. Maybe one is good in politics, but not in cricket. Maybe one is good in cricket, not in badminton. A lot of things are there. We don't know. So firstly, we need to understand, we need to open our minds gate. We need to be accepting, receptive. Then all it's possible. So this is what happened in Pumia's life as well. Earlier, he used to think in the night, he's killing people, he's he's doing robbery or stealing money, but in the morning, he is providing free food. So overall, he's doing good thing because he's helping other people too. But then the moment Guru Nanak Sahib Ji reached to his place and Guruji asked, what do you do? What do you perform? It was difficult for him to tell, because what happens in our life too, if we meet a person for the very first time, or we think maybe we don't gonna meet him again, we try to be polite and good. That is why most of the time we do read and say, people say, once we able to spend some time with someone, then only we'll come to know what kind of person is that. For the very first meeting, everyone tried to be nice and good. So he afraid to tell what he's doing actually. But it was almost impossible to lie in front of Guru Sahib Ji, because the light, the wisdom, the glow, the way Guruji was looking at in his eyes, it became impossible to lie. So he said it in the flow, whatever he was doing. And in the end, he ended, I'm providing food to the poor people of my village, and also I'm performing seva whenever any sage and saints like you are coming to my village. So overall, I am a good person. I'm performing good things. Although if I'm doing bad things, that is also so that I can do well for other people. Then Guruji gave him a simple example. Whatever you sow, so shall you reap. As you sow, so shall you reap. Ape beej, ape hi khao. But whatever. So, बीजे बेक मंगे अमृत बेको ही न्याओ, बियो बीज पत ले गए, अब क्यों उगवे दाल. So, if a beach, a seed is not well, then we cannot get fruit. And if the seed is not of a fruit, still we cannot get a fruit. If it's of a thorn, agar kanda बीजे आए, so we cannot get fruit, right? So Guruji told him, whatever you are doing, it's just you are committing sins and crimes. Cannot get good out of it. It's not possible. You are thinking it's like a business, but actually it is not in that way. Whatever you are sowing, it is not good. So you have to reap whatever you are doing. So he understood. Firstly, we need to understand what we are doing is good or bad, not according to anyone's mind or words or thoughts, in the light of gurbani, in the light of Gurbani only. Parameters should be Gurbani. If according to Guru Granth Sahib Ji, according to Gurbani, how we are living our life, that we need to say. People may say good. Even Tupu Mia, he was like a saint to the people of his village. People were calling him a saint, a sage. But for Guru Nanak Sahib Ji, he was not. And for himself as well. He knew the truth. Jeko bujai hove sache. Firstly, we need to understand what we are doing. Once we're able to perform, what we're able to make up our mind to change our thoughts. We don't block our mind. Always be receptive to accept the light of Gurbani. So once we understand, then the question arises. Once we start feeling I'm not on the right path, unless I'm feeling, I don't need to do anything else. Already I'm doing good. But once we realize I'm not on the Satyara part, maybe I'm on the Kudyaras part. I'm not a Gurmukh, maybe Manmukh. So then question comes, question arises. The question is, Kiv Satyara hoye, Kiv Kuda Tuta Pal. So before this question, we must realize, are we doing or are we on the wrong path? Then only we can ask for the right path. If we are thinking I'm already on the right path, then this question cannot arise. So this is the first question as well in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Kiv Satyara hoye. And this word Satyara comes 3 times in Japji Sahib. 3 times. And every time, how to be truthful, how can we live a truthful living? There is answers. There are some different aspects. There are some more ways to reach to that level of truthful living. So in the first question, because all are related, all are like stages of the person. Kiv Satyara hoye, kiv kuda tuta pal, hukam rajai chalana, Nanak likhya nal. Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. How can we live a truthful living? How can we break that wall? How can we get some enlightenment? How can we get some light? Hukam rajai chalna, as we don't know. So surrender yourself. Whatever Guru is saying, okay. So this is what Pumia did. He surrenders himself in the front of Guru Nanak Sahib Ji and said, all right, I don't know what to do. Now please help me to understand and help me, guide me. What should I do? Then Guruji told him few things. First, Guruji told him, if you want to live truthful living, then you must know about something about truth as well. So there are 3 different ways. Sacha Prabhu, true Lord, Nanak eva janiye sab ape satyar. Satyar is a Lord. Vaheguru, that God is Satyar. Nanak eva janiye sab ape satyar. Everything is Satyar, which means God. And if God is Satyar, so only Satyar person can reach to that level, be one with the Almighty, if he is also on the same way. Otherwise, cannot. So first thing we need to understand, this is what Guru Nanak Sahib Ji taught to Pumia as well. Pumia Chor at that time, but yes, he became just Pumia. Sab ape Satyar. Lord is Satyar. Then who can reach to that level? The one who is living his life in the light of truthfulness. Jeko bujai hove Satyar. The one who is able to understand what values do we need. And a person can reach to that level, but with only truth things. Dar sache, dise sachiar. Because in his court, only sachiars are welcomed. Only true things are welcomed. And truth is Lord. Lord is truth. So we need to be one with that Almighty. Chiko buja hove sachiar. And then Guruji told him, okay, if you cannot do everything, just follow three things. These were the three messages for those that Pumia Chor, which was later known as an Pai Pumia. So we'll say here Pai Pumia ji. What was those three messages for him? Because firstly, he surrendered himself. Then the message was always tell the truth. Just speak truth. Do not harm the poor. Don't hurt poor. Don't steal, rob to the poor. Don't hurt them. Don't harm. Don't kill. And if you have ever eaten something from someone's house, then do not harm them. ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਨਮਕ ਖਾਦਾ ਹਰਾਮ ਨਾ ਕਰੇ. If you have eaten anything, so do not harm that family because they are like your family members. So just start working on these three things. The rest, everything will happen automatically. So it was not as difficult. So always tell the truth. This was the first message. So he thought, as Saki says, so he just told about first message. He told to Guruji, in the beginning, I'll just try to follow the first. You gave me the three things, but I'll try to work on first part firstly. Just try to speak the truth. After a couple of days, Guru Nanak Sahib Ji left that city, left that village. Then Pumia went for another robbery. Then he thought, I should try to minimize my robberies and stealing things from people. Then he chose a king. He thought he'll visit a king's place in the king's palace, and then he'll rob a lot of things from there so that he can spend few months easily. But the moment he was about to enter in that room, a guard, in today's date we can say a security guard, asked him, who are you? Then he said, truly, I'm a thief. I'm here to steal few things. I'm here for robbery. That security guard thought maybe he is a son of a king and just laughing on me, trying to make fun of me because I asked. He said, okay, you may go. Later, he packed a lot of things. The moment he was about to leave King's palace, he just put his hand on a thing and he thought it's a gold. He put that thing and tried to taste it. It was salt. And then he left all those things in that house, in that palace, and he went. In the morning, king realized someone came, but things are here. And then he asked through the security guy and he told the entire story. Now king wanted to know who was he, why he was trying to steal, and why did he left all those things in the palace. His king's people started beating poor people, and then this Pumia came into the court and accepted. I was the one, don't beat any poor people, because he realized the message of Guruji. Then king got much impressed. Tu chor hai ke sant? Are you a robber or a saint? You are here to save the poor people, and you're committing it that you were the one who did it. But why and how? I want to know the entire story. Then he told the entire story. This is how I met Guru Nanak Sahib. And I got so much influenced by his life, by his truthful living, the way he was speaking. I just wanted to adopt few things. So he just told me to follow these 3 rules. So I was just trying to follow that. And then later that king also became disciple of Pumia. But Pumia told, I am also disciple of Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. Go in go to the Guru Nanak Sahib and take your message. And then later they found some shabads and they started performing kirtan at that place. So Pumia also changed his life by following three things. If we see in the Japji Sahib, there are four things. Three times we are able to find the word Satyar in Japji Sahib only. Kev Satyara ho gaya, kev kuda tutta pal. So how can we live our life? How can we live a truthful living? The first thing is Hukam Rajai Chalana Nanak Likhya Nal, in the Hukam. Then next time Amrit Vela Sachnao Vidiyai Vichar. Here also Nanak Evajaniya Sabha Pe Sachar, the third pankti. The first one is Amrit Vela Sachnao. So Sabha Pe Sachar, if you want to be one with that Almighty, recite the name of that Lord, Naam. So first is Hukam in the beginning that we get answer to live a truthful living. We need to follow the Hukam. If we are ready to follow the Hukam, then only we'll able to recite the name of the Lord. And then Tol Taram, Daya ka Poot, Santokh Thap Rakhya Jen Sood. Then the third thing is compassion. Then compassion must be there and contentment, Santokh, will arise. If we are ready to follow the Hukam, recite the name of that Lord, that one creator, if we have compassion and contentment, these 4 points are according to Japji Sahib. Wherever Guruji used this word Satyar, so these points were mentioned in Japji Sahib's Bani. As we have already discussed last week about contentment, entire topic was there. If any Sangat member did not join, you can listen it on YouTube. And one lecture was dedicated to compassion as well, and as well one is for Hukam. So these 4 things should be there if we want to live a truthful life, or we can start following one by one, then another will come automatically. And if we take the light or key points in today's lecture, then we'll try to understand a body of Bhai Gurdas about Satyar, truthful life. He gave the entire message, whatever we discussed today about Hukam, Naam, compassion, and truthful living. What Bhai Gurdas ji says, Pehle gur upadesh de Sikh peri paye. Sikh peri, pena means Hukam manna, Gur Upadesh means Naam. So what these 2 things are what Guruji is giving to us, and then next 3 lines what we are supposed to do, and the last pankti is what is the fruit. Because whenever we are doing something, we always want what is the takeaway, then what is the key point, what did I get, what will I get, what is the fruit. So here Pehle Gur Upadesh de Sikh peri paye. So firstly, Naam is needed. Recite the name of that Lord, which is needed. Peri paye Hukam. Not only recite his name, we must follow whatever Guruji is telling us. Then Sad Sangat Kar Dharamsal. Sad Sangat means Simran. And Simran is only possible the one who have Santokh. From Daya, we can say Seva comes. Daya, then Seva, Sad Sangat, then Simran. All works together. In the Sad Sangat, we are doing Simran. If compassion arises, then automatically we can start performing Seva. So Sad Sangat Kar Dharamsal Sikh Seva Lai. So Seva and Simran will come. This is what the Hukam of Guruji. He is telling us about Naam, Hukam, Simran and Seva, and how do we need to perform all those things. Now 3 panktis are related to that according to Bhai Gurdas ji. Paye Pagat Pais Sevade Gurpurb Karai. Now we are celebrating Gurpurab. So how should we do it? How can we live our truthful living? And how should we celebrate Gurpurab? Now, Bhai Gurdas ji. Paye Pagat Pay Sevate. Paye means with love. We can do things just to show off, as Pumia was also doing it. But we can do things with love. So if we want fruit of our seed, we must need to give some water, we need to take care of it, then only it will come to the fruit, that tree. So Paye Pagat Pay Sevade Gurpurb Karaye. If we are reciting his name with love, that is the real Gurpurab. Seva, Pagati, Simran, try to do with love, with happiness, not like a burden. Shabad Surt Lev Kirtan Sach Mel Milaye, Gurmukh Marg Sach Da Sach Par Langaye. So while listening or while performing seva, anything will work for us. Even for Pumya, he tried to speak the truth, and then followed later, he left everything. After that incident, he was just reciting and performing good deeds. He stopped doing it. With the hukam, Guru Angad Sahib Ji became second Guru. With the seva, third Guru, Amar Das Ji became Guru. So even if we'll try to focus on one thing, others will come automatically. Paye Pagat Pay Sevade Gurpurab Karaye, but Paye is there. Pay is there. If love is there, anything will work. While listening to the kirtan, while performing seva, this is how we must try to celebrate Gurpurab. Gurmukh Marg Sachada, the Gurmukh, his way is of the truth, such par langaye, because he know if he need to go far, if he need to go to the different place, he need a clean road. He needs such the road. Then only he can go. From the mud, he cannot go across. It's not possible. So Gurmukh, who is the one who is Gurmukh, Gurmukh Marg Sachda. He will walk on the path of Almighty. Whatever Guru is telling, he's ready to perform. He's ready to do. He's always happy to do. Sach mila sacyar no mil aap gavaye. So this is the fruit. If with the love, we're able to perform these things. Naam, Hukam, Seva, Simran, with the love. So what is the fruit in the last pankti? Sach mile sacyar no. So the one who is walking on the path of Almighty, on the truthfulness, he'll start living truthful living because he'll be one with the truth. Ad Sach, Jugad Sach. Truth is that Lord, and Lord is truth. So one can be, it's possible to be one with that Almighty. Sach mile. Bhai Gurdas is telling, Sach mile. You will able to get that truth. Such mile sacyar no. But there is a condition. The one who is living his life according to the truthful living is following these things, is following the concept, and not just physically, by heart, by love. Love is such an important topic. While performing anything with the love makes huge difference. Even in our daily life, if a mother is preparing food with the love for a son, taste may sound different. And if she's just cooking for cooking, that is different. We always miss food of our house, mother's hand food, because it's not only food, it's with love. Gurmukh Marg Sachda Sach Par Langaye. Truth is the one we can go across. But Sach Mile Sacyar no, there is one condition. We need to change our life. ਕੁੜਿਆਰ ਨੂੰ ਸੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ, ਮਨਮੁਖ ਨੂੰ ਸੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦਾ। We need to change our life. We need to change our way of life. As this happens in friendship as well. If two people are friends and one want to go right and one want to go left, one have to convince with someone else. Otherwise, they both will go on the different way. Here we cannot mold God according to us, but here we need to change our lifestyle. We need to change our mentality. We need to change our deeds. We need to change our actions. We need to change our thoughts. Sach mile satyar no. Now, if we actually want that life, that matters the most, because most of us maybe don't want it. If we want it, then we need to put some time. Sometimes we do say, I don't have time. But we do have time for all other things. Maybe this is not our priority. That's possible. So we must try to give some time. Maybe start with a minute or 2 or 5 or 10 minutes. But slowly we'll able to enjoy. The moment we'll start enjoying, automatically we'll give more and more time and more happiness will arise, and it will go on. It will multiply. So such mile satyar no mil aap gavaye, then there is no ego. Aap gavaye, lost myself. I don't want to be a good. I don't want to be better and better in the eyes of people. But such mile satyar, just want Guru's blessing. Doesn't matter what people are saying, but now we want to please society. We want to please people, not Lord. Doesn't matter if it's according to religion, it doesn't matter if it's according to truthful living or not, but we want to make people happy. But the thing is, then the one who will start living his life in that way, then he will change his life to the truth. What Gurbani is telling. What is the truth's path? It's not about which religion, from where we started our conversation. Sach mile satyar no. So Bhai Gurdas is telling, whoever is following the path of truthfulness, he'll able to attain that position, and then there is no ego inside. So this is the takeaway message as well. This is a key point as well, and this is a body of Bhai Gurdas ji, where we learned about different ways, naam, hukam, seva, simran, but love is the most important thing while performing anything. For example, if we are preparing any kind of any food, salt is very important. If we are looking to do some farming, seeds and all other things if we are doing, but we are not putting water, we cannot imagine fruit, we cannot imagine a tree, nothing will come. That seed may die as well, will die for sure without water. So love is the most important thing while performing any act. Then only we can reach to that level. Sach mile, this is possible. Satyar no, but we must live our life in the light of Gurbani. Satyar will able to get the such. This is a fruit, and this is the biggest fruit. Greatest thing can ever happen to any human. No mil aap gavaye. This is how we will lose our ego, our main, how main. So this is possible. And today it was the last lecture of this session, English lecture. But yes, we have few more lectures coming in this week, like oneness. This is at Central Sikh Temple, in-person lecture, and online we have another lecture, Patande Savaye, Friday evening 7 p.m. and another lecture is Saturday morning. So we have one more online lecture for this semester, for this session, we can say, this Friday. But English lecture was today. This is the last lecture. Now we'll continue again in the month from the month of January next year. But yes, 3 more lectures are there. So request you all, those who are joining from overseas, from another countries, kindly join us on the Friday's lecture as well. And those who are from Singapore, so kindly join us in the next 3 lectures, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's lecture as well. So now, before we end up English lecture session, so request you all, kindly share your views. I'm sure you all have a lot of things in your mind. So don't be shy. Kindly share your point of views, your suggestions, and if you have something in your mind, so feel free to share your experiences. So now I request you, the entire Sangat, kindly unmute yourself and share your point of view. Thank you very much once again for your precious time every time you're joining and giving so much love and blessings. So really thankful to the entire Sangat. Hope to see you again in the next lectures as well. So thank you very much once again. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. हाँ जी. हाँ जी. Any Sangat member ji who would like to share something? हाँ जी हरदीप जी, you are unmuted जी.
हाँ जी, वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह.
वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह.
A very good lecture on truthful living, Satvinder ji. And I think I speak for myself, that as Guruji says, we are also full of kuryar, and how we should get rid of this kuryar within us. And I think the story that you told of my Bhumia also shows how a person can change from a kuryar to a satyar. So it's a very interesting story. And I like the steps that you have said, how we should know how to understand and know what is good, what is bad, and from there lead our life as Guruji has advised us. And all the other points that you said from Japji Sahib, Hukam, Naam, compassion, contentment, and if we can have all these, they will lead to truthful living. So it is for us now to imbibe all these values, try to practice, change ourselves, and follow Guruji's advice. Thank you. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you very much for your kind words and for your blessings. So really appreciate it. हाँ जी करतार जी, you are unmuted जी.
वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह.
वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह करतार जी.
Today's lesson, I feel, is the culmination of all our other lessons. Like you reap what you sow, actions speak louder than words, compassion, contentment. All these have been grouped together into today's lesson, truthful living. You know, I feel we can spend our life listening to your lectures, hearing about truth, but everything will be useless unless we realize that Vaheguru resides in us and we have to walk his path. No point listening, hearing, and telling people, yes, I listened, yes, I understand, but the next minute you are doing what you think is right, but not what Vaheguru is telling you to do. Even though you know that he is right there looking at you, beside you. And for getting what shall I say, to live truthfully, I feel that you should have our devotion, our behavior, our actions. All this will show how well we live, we understand the Bani, and how we apply his values into our lives. No point just talking, but not doing anything. I have seen and heard many people talking, but when it comes to action, they are not there for you. So during this time to live truthfully, I also think we should be willing to sacrifice our greed, our gossips, thinking that we want to live as others live and live in contentment. For that, we need to realize and understand the Bani so that we can apply the values into our life. Only then we can walk on his path with an open mind. That is my take. And your 3 steps, your message from Bhumia, and the simple, understandable Japji Sahib's parts where you said about hukam, naam, compassion, contentment were very simple and easily understandable. Very beautiful examples. I love them. And at the end of the day, I think we need to change our mindset, our thoughts, our actions to live with realization and understanding and walk in his path. It was a beautiful lesson. I really loved it. Thank you very much, Master Ji.
Thank you very much, Kartarji, for your really lovely words. The way you always elaborate and explain, sometimes just summarize, really beautifully. You do it every time, actually. It's also blessing upon you, Guruji's blessing. So thank you very much for your contributions and for sharing your views, Kartarji. Thank you.
Thank you, Master Ji.
Hanji, any other Sangat member ji who would like to share something, ji? Hanji, don't be shy, please. Principal ji.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh Ji. I want to thank you for a beautiful lecture on honest and truthful living. Because I think मैंने याद आ गई गुरु जी कह रहे ने सच्चो और है सबको ऊपर सच आचार. That on one side when we talk about आज सच, जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच. That's in the Japji Sahib already, that everything is all about truth. And the most important part is not just the truth that we learn as a value. क्योंकि दास I mean, I was listening to the lecture and so it is a very good reminder to all of us that truthful living is even higher than truth itself, because that is also again a shabad in Gurbani. But Nali aaj kyunki Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji da Gurupurab bhi aa raha hai, and you were saying we are trying to celebrate it with the Gurupurab, with love, with kirtan, with seva, with simran, with satsang, because when you do it with lots of true love and devotion, then you basically are doing it the right way. So I just wanted to extrapolate from Joey Abjine Sanu Samjaya na truthful living bare. Let us go a little bit deeper and go one step further, that Asi Sadi soul has been separated from God for many, many lifetimes. Of course, bahut janam bichhade the madho ye janam tumhare lekhe. So when we talk about truth, it should not just be the value of living a life having like Pumia chores, being honest, being truthful, having a life of integrity. But I'm going to share something that's going to go one step further. Maybe something for us to take home as a food for thought. क्योंकि आप जी ने कैसी ऐसी हमेशा सिख हाँ सारा कुछ सानू नहीं पता हुंदा शायद कुछ सीख सकते हैं नवा. So इस दे विचों सानू भी सीखन नू मिलेगा कि truthful living सिर्फ वो नहीं है value based system कि मैं सच्ची जिंदगी जी रहा, but being honest and true to ourselves. क्योंकि असी सारे souls ना बहुत समय तो बिछड़े हुए माधो तो बिछड़े हुए हैं ते ये जन्म तुम्हारे लेखे जे करना चाहते हैं. It is in English we call self-actualization, that I want to achieve salvation, oneness, and become together one with my God, that soul, that higher soul. That only way I suggest is also not just to have the value of honesty, truthfulness, and living an honesty-based, integrity-based life, but also please bear with me for just 2 minutes, because I'm going to suggest that we should also be true to ourselves. Every person is different. What is their definition of I have a satisfied life? I want to lead a life that is simply without any regrets. And I want to live a life that I don't have to ever come back again. Then we got to do 6 small things to be really honest. Number 1, we got to be willing to make sacrifices, because living a life of truth always means sacrificing a few things. It could be coming out of our comfort zone, our stable, comfortable life, to do things that we really, really want to do, because otherwise we're going to remain unsatisfied. And when we are doing exactly what we love, then we will never have to come back. We will achieve that salvation with God, and we will be always in Samai, become one with God. Number 2, when we want to be honest, sometimes we got to quit what doesn't work. We have heard of stories of people in bad relationships. We have heard people of bad jobs and bad careers. And when they leave these bad relationships, bad jobs and bad careers, they find true happiness. That is a courageous move. It is going to benefit us. And that is getting rid of unnecessary baggage. Then only we can be true to ourselves. That is truthful living. Number 3, you also mentioned in your lecture, Paisab, that people are going to say a lot of things. We should not listen to the naysayers. Let us go out there, achieve our truth. That is truthful living, being honest to yourself. And eventually, I guarantee you, people who say no to you today will be proved wrong. One day they will be proved wrong, and you can become an inspiration to them. Number 4, let us all follow the voice of our heart. Deep within ourselves, when we do meditation, tai gurbani naam bare aap jine mein bahut mention kita si, it's talking about naam. Let's wake up in the early hours of the morning before we go out and be confused by the world. Let us listen to the voice of our heart. That heart will never lie to us. We should not get caught up in the opinions of the past, whatever our upbringing. Meditation, Simran, Naam, Bhakti is going to help us. And the last 2 points. Number 5, let us plan a truly passionate life, which may be less traveled by the rest of the world. But when you go for that life, you are being honest to yourself. You are really living a truthful life. That is a great way to live a truthful life. And then you're going to be very successful, although it is going to be difficult. And that's why the last point is, Sikhi has taught us again and again. Little child Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji said no to the Janu, because it was the practice of that time. It was the Vedantic practices of that time. But he was courageous enough to say, the inner voice within me says, give me such a holy thread that will never break. He was never afraid of speaking up. He was never afraid of shining brightly. He was never afraid of failing. And that is where we got to leave ego outside. Because by Gurdas Ji Shabad, you told us that can only happen if we leave ego aside, live a truthful life. Othe main sapti karna chanda. I ask for your forgiveness, because Japji Sahib, when you then understand that truthful living is living true to your soul, to your life, then sahas siyanapa lak hoye ta ikna chale nal. If you follow the illusions of the world and you are not true to yourself, nothing will go with you. But give sachiara hoye kiv kura to tepal. How can we break away from these illusions of the world? How can we become truthful? Is hukam razai chalana nanak likhya nal. We have understood that. Let us end by saying, since this is the last English session for the year, let us just say, na ho jati sati nahi padya murakh mugda janam paya pranvat nanak tin ki sharna jintu nahi visarya. Oh Lord, give us the company of such beautiful people, even in the years to come and months to come, because with those beautiful people who have not forgotten God, Vaiguruji, they have realized what is truthful living. They have realized what was their truth in the life. It may be different from everybody else, but let us all learn to be brave enough, courageous enough to live a life of truth, truthful living, to become self-actualization, actualized, so we never have to come back again. Pulchukdi Mafi, thank you once again for so many wonderful lectures this year. Look forward to learning with you in the years to come. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki
Vaheguru Ji
Fateh.
ki Fateh. Thank you very much, Palji. You always say beautifully, and really appreciate the way you always contribute. And thank you very much for sharing different aspects of the truthful living. Yes, we must need to learn more and more Sikhi Sikhya, Guru Vichar. So this is a Sikhi. Whenever we are trying to learn more and more about Gurbani, that person is called Sikhi, right? Sikhi Sikhya. What is the Sikhya? What is the teaching of us for the Sikh? gur, vichar. So that's what we all are doing. We all are trying to understand the concept and values and how we can make our life better and live our life into the light of Gurbani. So really appreciate your contributions. You always contribute. So thank you very much, Palji. Thank you.
Thank you, Ji.
Hanji, any other Sangat member ji, please don't shy. You can share anyone. Hanji Jagjit ji, you are unmuted ji.
Satvinder, as usual, your talk was very informative and inspirational. As you see, the speakers who have responded have not only understood your message, but they have complemented it. So truthful living is the ideal. What we have to do is not only realize it, but put it into practice. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much. You always say few words, but say a lot of things in that. So thank you very much for your contribution, Jagjit ji. Hanji, any other Sangat member ji who would like to share something? Hanji, anyone can say something in your mind? Hanji? Hanji Amandeep ji, you are unmuted.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਜੀ।
ਮੈਂ ਕੁਝ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਮੈਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਫਸਟ ਟਾਈਮ ਮਤਲਬ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਨੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੋਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਸਿਖਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਕੁਝ ਮਹੀਨਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਲੈਕਚਰਸ ਅਟੈਂਡ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਬਟ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਫਸਟ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਏਜ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸ ਕਾਲਜ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਇਸ ਲਾਈਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੀਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਆ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕੱਲ ਕੋਈ ਪੁੱਛੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਵਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ
Amandeep ji, actually I'm also trying to learn ਸਿੱਖਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਕਾਲਜ ਵੀ I have done ਮਾਸਟਰਸ ਮੈਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਰਿਲੀਜਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਜੇ ਵੀ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਬਾਕੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਬੜਾ ਕੁਝ ਸਿੱਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੰਟਰੀਬਿਊਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਬੜਾ ਕੁਝ ਸਿੱਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਬਾਕੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਥੋੜੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਥੋੜੀ ਸਟੱਡੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਆਸ਼ੀਰਵਾਦ ਹੈ ਬਾਕੀ
ਨਹੀਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਮੇਨ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਿੱਖਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਮੇਨ ਕਿਸੇ ਟੀਚਰ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਸਿੱਖਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਨੇ ਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਸਿਖਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ
ਨਹੀਂ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਏਦਾਂ ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਨਹੀਂ ਕਾਲਜ ਹੈਗਾ ਐਸਜੀਪੀਸੀ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ 1921 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਕਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਨਕਾਣਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਯਾਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਕਾਲਜ ਹੈ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਸਿੱਖ ਮਿਸ਼ਨਰੀ ਕਾਲਜ so I studied there for 3 years and later I did masters in religion ਬਾਕੀ ਅਜੇ ਤੱਕ ਸਿੱਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ
okay thank you so much
thank you very much for your feedback and for your words thank you ji ਹਾਂਜੀ Tanvanji, you unmuted yourself earlier, so would you like to share something?
Just yes. Waikuru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waikuru Ji Ki Fateh. Yes, your lecture, as usual, was really very good, very informative, and I would just like to share truthful living, which I have actually seen people doing here in Adelaide. I'm sure the other people do it as well. There's one man who makes, he sells food, an Indian man from North India, and he makes jalebis and he also makes other foods. So whenever we want to have a function, we go to him and said that we like to order 10 kilos of jalebis for the Gurdwara, for the Khand Path or whatever. And when he hears, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ and we said yes. He said and I say how much will that be? It's usually about $18 a kilo. There'll be $180. So I said okay, I'll give you the $180. He said ਨਹੀਂ ਜੀ ਜੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈਣੇ. And he just won't take the money. He will make this jalebis. So I said okay, you don't take the money, I'll donate it, matha tekna with this money. And he said you do what you want, but I won't take for Guruji. I will not take. I don't do bepar with Guruji. And it's just not with me, with everyone. anyone, he makes such beautiful jalebis, and you go to him and he doesn't want money. In the end, we don't ask him to make for the Gurdwara because we don't want him to lose that. And that's one. And another one, he runs a restaurant, and he's also very pious. He comes to the Gurdwara doing lots of seva and all that. And once we were talking to him about truthful living, and he knows a lot about gurbani, and these are very learned people from India who are here. And so he explained to us, he said, yes, I run a restaurant, and his restaurant is doing very well in a very good area. And he said, well, what I do, for me, what I serve the people truthfully. And they come there to eat the food, and I must serve them exactly what they are paying for. And if somebody is paying for, whatever meal, and I have to give it to them to that value, not take people's money and give them some third-rate, thing. So he's been so honest in all his, transactions, and he's everyone likes his food, and very, very popular restaurant. And somebody who used to work there, one of the boys in the Gurdwara, said, Auntie Ji, when I was a student, I used to do work for him part-time, he said. And whenever he's cooking, he'll be saying, Waheguru, Waheguru, Waheguru. And that, there are such people around here. And that's truthful living, I think.
Very beautiful, AG. Thank you very much for sharing your experience. I know you always have some experience related to topic. Yes, however, we are doing साडी की feelings है, emotions की है, साडे minds thought की है, that makes huge difference. नहीं तो सेवा ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਪਰ ਕਿਸ ਭਾਵਨਾ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕਿਸ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, that also matters a lot. So ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਜੀ. So ਬਹੁਤ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਇਸੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਬਣਾਈ ਰੱਖਣ, ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਬਣਾਈ ਰੱਖਣ ਜੀ. Thank you very much, Tarman ji, for sharing these beautiful experiences of your life.
And one more thing.
Yes, please.
We've really learned a lot from your lectures. You are very, very good in your teachings and lecturing and all the examples you give. And we'll miss your lectures over the months you're going away. But we wish you have a wonderful holiday and with your family, and you've done a great job.
Really, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's just blessing of your all Sangat members. So really thankful to you, Tarman ji. Hanji, Ranjit ji also messaged, looking at ourselves, whatever we have done, to realize, yes, this is the first point. Once we realize what we have done, it's good or bad, then only we can work on the right way once we realize what is wrong. So yes, thank you very much for your message, Ranjit ji. Hanji, any other Sangat member who wants to add, share something, ji? Okay, so request you all, kindly unmute yourself so we all can say Gur Fateh together. And thank you very much once again for your precious time, and I hope and I wish to see you again in upcoming lectures as well. Guru Sahib ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਬਖਸ਼ਣ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੰਦਰੁਸਤੀ ਬਖਸ਼ਣ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੇਵਾ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦੀ ਦਾਤ ਬਖਸ਼ਣ ਜੀ. once again ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਗੁਰਪੁਰਬ ਦੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧਾਈ ਹੋਵੇ ਜੀ. let's all say Gur Fateh together ਜੀ. ਸਾਰੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਆਖਣਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
Thank you, Ji. Happy Gurpurab.
Thank you, Master Ji.
Happy Gurpurab. Thank you, Ji.
Thank you.